Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Hydroponic Heroes. In this episode, I am talking about the best variety in each plant category to grow in Aerogarden and other hydroponic systems. This selection is based on what I have grown so far in my hydroponic systems. If you think of a better selection than what I mentioned and you have any other recommendations, please let me know in the comments. The first plant category is tomato. I have grown so many tomato varieties of microdwarf, dwarf and even regular categories that includes both cherry and big size tomatoes. Even though the tomatoes are generally pretty successful, based on all my experiments and the experience, the best variety is Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is a microdwarf cherry tomato variety and we can grow it in pretty much any hydroponic system with a minimum of real 20 wattage lights. The reason I mentioned real is many off-brand hydroponic systems say that the system comes with 20 wattage lights, but the light strength is not true to the fact. For example, this iDoo 10-pot system says that it has 24 wattage lights. But the performance of the system is pretty behind if I compare it with Aerogarden Harvest, which is 20 wattage lights. So make sure you are using the hydroponic system with real 20 wattage lights and the Tiny Tim tomato plants will thrive. I love Tiny Tim in every aspect. They are fast, prolific, stay under 1 feet and survive in hydroponics for a really long time. Coming to big size tomatoes, I have tried only a few varieties like Verokhoye, Roma and Early Girl. Out of these three, Early Girl did really well. If I compare the productivity of Early Girl and Tiny Tim, the Tiny Tim win the race by a mile. But if you really prefer to grow big size tomatoes, I recommend Early Girl. Next up is the radishes. Radishes are very fun and very easy to grow in hydroponics. I have 99.99% success rate with radishes growing in hydroponic systems no matter what hydroponic system I use. The growth of radishes will differ from system to system, but they work pretty well in any decent sized hydroponic system. I have grown so many varieties of radishes like French breakfast, Saxa, purple plum, Malaga, hailstone, scarlet and watermelon. All of these turned out great, but French breakfast is top of all in many aspects. They grow big, mature fast, and 100% reliable for me in every hydroponic system I have tried so far. So, if you never tried radishes in hydroponic systems yet, I highly recommend you to give the French breakfast a try at least once, even if you don't like radishes that much. It is much fun to watch them growing right in front of our eyes and showing great progress day by day. Next up is peppers. Talking in terms of best pepper variety is little difficult. Every pepper is unique and have their own taste, flavor, heat, etc. So it's hard to pick one over the other. However, I will call out three pepper varieties. First one is in bell pepper category. I haven't grown a lot of bell pepper varieties, but I found that the California Wonder works best in aero gardens. It is fast, prolific and produces very decent sized peppers. Next pepper variety I want to mention is in jalapeno category. It is called Pot-a-Peno. This variety is a dwarf variety. It stays very low under 1 foot and produces tens and hundreds of peppers with excellent taste and flavor. Moreover, you can grow Pot-a-Peno in smaller hydroponic systems like Aerogarden Harvest. While these two varieties are top-notch in pepper category, I have also grown serrano peppers and cayenne peppers and both of them worked out very well. So feel free to try them if you prefer, but grow them in bounty or bigger hydroponic systems. Next up is cucumbers. I have grown many varieties of cucumbers like Diva, Beat Alpha, Muncher, Iznik, and Quick Snack. Out of all these, Iznik cucumbers are best for me. They are fast, productive, and works in many hydroponic systems. I have grown Iznik cucumbers in Aerogarden Harvest, Aerogarden Bounty, Spider Farmer, MarsHydro, and AHopeGarden. And it worked out very well in all these systems. I am recently liking quick snack cucumbers, but Iznik variety is still my top pick. Both Iznik and quick snack are parthenocarpic varieties and they don't need pollination. They produce only female flowers, so we don't need to worry about hand pollinating them. Just with a little bit of maintenance, we can easily and successfully grow these cucumbers. I have separate video calling out various tips and tricks to grow cucumbers successfully in hydroponics. Please check it out if you are interested. Next up is eggplants. I have grown Fairytale, Patio Baby, Green Envy, Turkish Orange, Thai Green Frog, and Japanese White. Out of all these varieties, Fairytale performed very well in Aerogarden. So, if you ever want to grow eggplants, start with Fairytale. If you get bored of Fairytale, then go for Green Envy. Both taste great, just a little difference in texture and flavor. When it comes to growing eggplants in hydroponics, I want to emphasize that the heirloom varieties don't work any good in hydroponics and it is not worth the effort trying heirloom. So I just stick to the hybrid varieties like Fairytale, Patio Baby and Green Envy. Next up is lettuce. Parris Island coast lettuce is a top pick for me in terms of taste, productivity, longevity, harvesting, and nutrition. I have grown so many varieties of lettuce so far, but nothing beats Parris Island coast lettuce so far. It always goes at least 4 months for me in Aerogarden. Next closest lettuce variety is Lollo Rossa leaf lettuce. I love this colorful variety as much as Parris Island coast lettuce. However, if I have to grow only one variety, I will go with Parris Island coast lettuce. Next up is spinach. Bloomsdale long-standing spinach is the best of all traditional spinach varieties. It comes fast and produces bigger leaves and it works in pretty much any hydroponic system. I have tried a few other varieties like Butterfly and Joint Noble and all of them turned out excellent. But Bloomsdale did slightly better than all of them. I want to mention one more thing related to spinach. A specific Swiss chard variety called perpetual spinach is a great alternative to traditional spinach. Easy to grow, very productive, lives longer and taste is extremely close to traditional spinach. So give it a try if you struggle to grow traditional spinach. Next up is basil. Basil is another tricky plant category to pick the best because each basil variety has its own taste and flavor. I have grown many basil varieties so far, but I am very happy with Dwarf Greek basil. It stays pretty low, very productive and slow bolting. The flavor is between Thai basil and Genovese basil. So instead of growing two different varieties, I can grow just Greek basil and substitute it for both. I know the taste is a preference and it differs from person to person. So you may or may not like Greek basil to substitute for Genovese or Thai, but I am happy to substitute. Next thing I want to call out is the flower category. When it comes to flowers, petunias are the best. I have grown a bunch of flowers in hydroponics, but nothing beats petunias. Just one plant will take over the entire garden just within 30 days and produces hundreds of flowers. Just within 2 months, you will see an overloaded flower garden. One beautiful thing with petunias is whenever the petunias go out of control, just pull out the plants and stick in a few cuttings. They will turn out to plants and take over the garden just within a month. For a long time, Petunias was the only flowering plant I had been growing. However, I recently found this Crossandra flowering plant giving me lots of joy. I love these clusters of bright orange flowers fully cover the plant and making this flower garden so beautiful. I started this from a cutting and multiplied the plants through propagation. Nowadays, I am seeing the seeds available on Amazon. However, I prefer to grow them from a plant or cutting if possible. I saw these plants available many times in Walmart, Lowe's, and Flower World. Lastly, I wanted to mention a few other plants that worked out very well for me. Either I haven't tried multiple varieties or there is only one variety exists in these categories. But whatever I tried worked out very well and I just stick to them. They are Siberian dwarf kale in kale category, slow bolt cilantro, culandro, baby bok choy, thought soy, dragon tongue bush beans, Aunt Molly's ground cherries, Malabar spinach, Italian dandelions, purslane, red leaf amaranth, and stevia. Alright, those are the best of the best to grow in hydroponics. Let me know what you think. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.